The owner of the New York Mets says, don't blame me for the amount of money that I'm spending. We're talking about Steve Cohen. Don't blame me that I can afford to have, as of today, a $354 million payroll at City Park. As of today, they're on the hook for $374 million. That's what their luxury tax number will be that they're going to have to pay into. Steve Cohen says baseball has to solve its problems. The New York Mets, everybody's excited. Brand new pitching staff. I mean, they were really active. Very old pitching staff, that's for certain. You got Max Scherzer, and then you got Justin Verlander, and then they went on and got Jose Quintana. They let some guys go. So this is a New York Mets team that is really, really different. But I was surprised this week on Sunday night, baseball announced the formation of an economic committee that's going to study the revenue disparity and the revenue spent on players, with the New York Mets at the top at $354 million as of this afternoon, and the Oakland Athletics at the bottom with $46 million. And there's a lot smaller teams there, from Oakland to Pittsburgh to Baltimore to Detroit to Kansas City, that are all spending, Pittsburgh spending south of $70 million in payroll, while the New York Mets and the Dodgers and the Padres and the Yankees are where they are. Baseball's got to find a way. The general consensus is that when this economic committee finishes its work and hands over the report to Rob Manfred, they are going to recommend that Major League Baseball in the next collective bargaining agreement use the terms hard salary cap. And I don't think the union's going to like that conversation at all. The only way you're going to make the sport better collectively is if there's more money shared and more money has to be spent on players. Because for every New York Met franchise that's spending that kind of wealth, you got 5 clubs at the other end of the spectrum that aren't spending anything at all to develop players. And I don't think that's healthy for the fans who root for the Cincinnati Reds, or what few Oakland A's fans are left, or what's gone on in other markets that are smaller in dimension.
Yeah, this is a very interesting time. I mean, the Baseball Players Union is arguably the strongest union in the entire United States, right? So they're not going to put up with what they don't want to accept. But at the same time, while a salary cap may be difficult, a salary floor seems like a very reasonable thing to do. You got to give it up for the NFL. They figured out a way where you got Green Bay, as one of the top franchises in the league. They found a way to have that competitive balance. Baseball has work to do.
Well, the NFL has a floor to spending. You don't have to spend the max on salaries in the National Football League, but you got to spend a close percentage point of what the max is, which means there's more money for guys to go to other teams, even losing teams, because they're going to get paid. Baseball has absolutely refused to adapt the floor to spending. The unions refuse to adapt it because their sense is, the league has told us, salary cap, floor to spending. And I think the union's wrong, because for every mid-level pitcher out there who still gets guys out, he should have a right to go make a nice payday if it's in Oakland or Pittsburgh or Cincinnati. But those clubs are only spending $60 million in payroll. So they're not spending on veteran free agents. Veteran free agents would change what the Cincinnati Reds have become, change what the Pirates are, change and give hope to the young Oakland Athletics. But there's got to be that money that has to be spent by those teams, if there's a floor to spending, have not gotten there yet. I do believe as we go through and talk baseball during the course of the year, this is going to turn into a civil war between the union, which is aghast at the idea of a cap, and Major League Baseball that's got to do something to create parity. And the NFL model, where you got the top, you got the hard cap, but you've also got to spend close to the hard cap because we're giving you all this revenue, shared revenue sharing. You got to put it back into the thing. Stay tuned. That story is far from over.